Hey Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and today we're taking a first look at Babylon. You can find the link to the developer first look in the description of the video. Let's get started.
Hammurabi leads Babylon in Sid Meier's Civilization 6. Best remembered for documenting his lawful alignment in Hammurabi's code, the ancient ruler was also dedicated to building infrastructure and improving the lives of citizens through scientific innovation. Babylon's unique ability is called Enuma, Anu, Enlil. With this ability, Eureka's provide all of the science needed for technologies.
What? Oh my god, that's insane. That's ridiculous. This has so many possible combos. There are so many ways to get Eureka's. You can get it from alliances, you can get it from great people, you can get it from just building things, you can get it from pretty much anything you do in the game has a good chance of giving you a Eureka. To get the full science from a Eureka, that's like China's bonus on steroids. What?
Although it also decreases the science generated each turn.
Okay, so you have a small science penalty, or a science penalty of some description. But I'm curious how, this is going to depend on how big that science penalty is. If it's a massive science penalty, then it's a pretty big deal. If it's kind of just like a minor kind of, you can work around that kind of a science penalty, then you're going to be able to beeline things like crazy with this civ.
Babylon's unique unit is an ancient era melee unit called the Sabum Kibittum. It receives increased combat strength when facing heavy and light cavalry promotion units, and also offers additional movement and sight.
That seems like pretty cool. That's it looks like it's a spearman replacement that is just strong against cavalry, which I think that's actually a pretty good way to sort of quote-unquote weaken Babylon. Spearman replacement units tend to be a little bit weaker than other classes, same way scout replacement units tend to be a little bit weaker than other kinds of units. Considering how strong their science game is going to be, having an okay sort of spearman running around is going to be helpful against the civs that can rush you with cavalry. It's also going to be great for actually using it as sort of a mid-game scout because they seem to have a lot of vision and movement, which is pretty neat.
Babylon's unique building is the Palgum. It replaces the watermill and provides additional housing and production. It also increases the food yield from freshwater tiles, but requires the city be adjacent to a river.
The watermill, I believe, gives you +1 food and +1 production, as well as +1 food to resources, like farming resources in the city. This gives you +2 production, +1 housing, and +1 food on all freshwater tiles. That's a significant buff, although it is missing some of the buffs from the watermill, so it's not a perfect upgrade. There are going to be situations where you build this and you'll be slightly worse off for food, but in the majority of situations, you're going to be way better off because you have access to the Palgum. And this is actually a really, really cool building. I'm a big fan of the watermill in any way, and getting a better watermill is really nice, especially because it comes pretty early into the game, and it's quite easy to boost the technology to actually get access to the watermill.
Hammurabi's ability, Ninu Ilu Serum, makes the construction of specialty districts even more special. When a specialty district is constructed for the first time, that district's lowest production cost building is included in the initial construction for free.
Okay, that is super powerful. That's going to make it so that rushing a religion on Babylon is really, really powerful. Rushing a first grade scientist on Babylon is really, really powerful. And basically what it means is every time you, whichever district you invest into first, whether it's a holy site or a campus, which are usually the two first ones you go for in a game, are going to give you a massive benefit. I'm pretty sure a shrine costs 80 production. So if your holy site costs you, say, 70 to 80 production, you're basically getting double the value. That means your early faith income is going to be way better. Your great person point generation is going to be really good. This is pretty much going to guarantee you a religion on deity if you can build a holy site and then work like 1 or 2 holy site projects. This really should not be, underestimated how powerful it is to get the free build, the first building of a district for free. This is kind of aligning really well with their unique unit and their free tech and their unique building to show them that they have like a really supremely strong early game, as well as having a really good ability to go wide and sort of build a bunch of different kinds of districts. Because normally, one of the hardest parts of, say, settling a city that's next to water is actually getting the harbor up and then getting the, lighthouse up and getting your trade route. You just throw down the harbor, you finish it, you get your first one for free, which means you get your first lighthouse for free rather, and then you can immediately start building the trader. This is a massively powerful ability that is really cool and really unique. It's kind of weird though, when I'm listening to this Civ, it kind of feels like they took what were probably the original game mechanics, like if you get a Eureka, you get the tech for free. And then they turned all those original design decisions and they kind of tuned them back for the actual game. And then they kind of bring them all back into a civilization where it's like, oh, the very first district you build of a type, you get the first building for free. If you get a Eureka, you get the full technology. This seems like those two mechanics, they almost feel like to me that they were probably the original design for the game. And now we have a Civ that just plays completely differently using that quote unquote original design for the game, which is insane to me.
Additionally, constructing any other district for the first time grants a free envoy.
Ooh, getting a free envoy is very, very nice for the first time you construct each type of district. That's going to be super useful for maintaining suzerainty, especially on DD, where maintaining suzerainty can be quite difficult due to the fact that the AI tends to just have more envoys earlier into the game than you, which will mean you can secure some really nice bonuses from city-states very early into the game. I'm a big fan of this ability.
Babylon offers a highly strategic, science-fueled game focused on getting as many Eurekas as possible. This playstyle rewards vigilance in pursuit of meeting boost conditions and maintaining a keen awareness of the tech tree. Great scientists are also key to victory because they grant Babylon a full rather than partial tech. Build the Great Library as soon as possible.
Oh, I didn't even think about the Great Library. That's insane. You get the boost to all ancient and classical era technologies. So you're going to want early culture with these guys and maybe to get 2 campuses out and try to do a bit of exploration. Wow, that's insane. If you get the Great Library, you get pretty much the entire classical era tech tree for free. And not only that, but you get a free tech every time someone else earns a great scientist. So if there's great scientists that you don't want, you just give them to someone else and then you get a free tech.
To ensure you still get a science boost whenever another Civ recruits a great scientist. A robust spy network can also be useful, allowing you to steal other Civs' technologies.
Oh, I didn't even think about that either. You can steal tech from other players. That's super powerful. This is going to be an amazing catch-up Civ, as well as a Civ that can get really far ahead.
However, be wary of spies angering potential allies and preventing a Tier 2 Science Alliance.
Science Alliances also, man, there's so many interesting ways that you're going to be able to take advantage of their free technology ability. And the extra science from your trade routes is also going to be a big help in making sure that you're not falling too far behind from your science penalty.
Which can be especially beneficial to Babylon. Will you use science to illuminate the world or darken it with tyranny? How will you lead Babylon in Sid Meier's Civilization 6?
I love this civilization so far. It has a unique playstyle, it has unique game mechanics, it has fairly robust early game bonuses. This looks like a Civ that is really designed for players who want to do a really fast science victory. You want to rush, like you want to get a turn 150 science victory. I think Babylon could be able to do that. Let's take a look at their actual abilities. We have Ninu Ilu Serum. When each specialty district type except for the government plaza is constructed for the first time, you receive the lowest production cost building that can currently be constructed in that district. And you get an envoy when any other district is constructed for the first time. Okay, so this is actually a little bit confusing. As far as now there's 2 ways that this can be interpreted. When each suggests to me that you get the first building for every time you build the first district of a type. So you build your first encampment, you get a free barracks. You build your first campus, you get a free library. You build your first holy site, you get a free shrine. But it also seems to be said here that you receive an envoy when any other district is constructed for the first time. That's a little bit confusing to me because the wording of this suggests that you get this for every single unique district, whereas the wording of this suggests you only get it for the very first district of a unique type that you build. So if I build a campus, I can't get the benefit from a holy site. And that's going to need to be clarified, I think, with a little bit of testing in game, because I'm just not really sure how that works. Next up, we have Enuma, Anu, Enlil. Eurekas provide all the science for technologies and minus 50% science per turn. Minus 50%, actually, considering you get full techs from Eurekas, isn't that big of a penalty, like realistically, because most of your tech decisions are going to be, okay, what things am I not going to boost? And then the real way you're going to be sort of advancing through the tech tree is getting those boosts. So really a 50% science penalty isn't that big of a deal, entirely because you get your tech for free. This ability is probably my favorite ability of any of the new civilizations, because it really encourages the player to get to know and plan around the tech tree and really sort of map out what you're going to do with it. We also have a Sabum Kibittum, the Babylonian unique ancient era melee unit. Now, I would imagine that this is a spearman. It gets 17 combat strength against heavy and light cavalry class units, when normally the bonus is plus 10. And I think it can get the promotion for plus 5 as well. So this unit could have up to plus 25 or up to plus 22 combat strength against heavy cavalry, which is really, really powerful on the defense and offense against cavalry. And it also has 3 movement and sight, which makes it very, very mobile to where you can actually catch those cavalry units. The Palgum, I already talked about this. It's just a slightly better watermill. The plus 2 production is very, very nice. And the extra food on freshwater tiles is also really, really great. But I don't think this is like the powerhouse of the civ. Overall, this is an S tier civ. S tier for how powerful they are, S tier for how fun they are, S tier for how well designed they are. Everything about this civ is S tier in terms of like how cool and interesting and fun they are going to be to play. I don't think they're massively like broken, overpowered in the hands of like an average player, but in the hands of a really, really good player, this is the kind of civ that could even knock down a science victory. I would go as far as to say is you might even be able to get it down to like turn 120 with the right kind of start. This civ is just capable of doing things with the tech tree that no other civ can do. That's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.